Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. The Bitcoin reaches another all-time high, so I decided to make a video on the Bitcoin, the hard forks, and the current state of cryptocurrencies. First of all, we are very early here. This is something to keep in mind. The merchants don't actually use the cryptocurrencies as a medium of exchange. They automatically sell it off for cash because the volatility is the enemy of viability. And cryptocurrencies at this point are speculative bets fueled by the sheer hype. The Bitcoin is probably not the future of money. Pro-Bitcoin people love to say how it's such a mathematical brilliance in terms of sending value somewhere, but there are plenty that can do exactly the same and even better. And I'll talk about them in a separate video and in a separate article. However, the network effects is the most important indicator of success for any protocol. Bitcoin, first of all, doesn't scale. Its transactions are slow, fees are large, the size of the blockchain keeps expanding. The owner of a full node has to download all the data of the internet. If the wallet was off, it takes quite a bit of time for it to restart and for all the transactions to download. Therefore, to overcome all these issues, the more and more users would prefer to use the client servers or even store their Bitcoin on the exchange, which goes completely against what many security experts like John McAfee were stressing about. And I'll also leave a great video of him speaking about this matter down below in the description. Thus, the idea of for all the users to keep all the transaction history turned out to be too idealistic. Why it's not scalable and why it splits? Because of the inability to reach consensus. This inability has caused Bitcoin to hard fork and the network to split and create another Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, which promises larger blocks, and this is how they solve the scaling issue. And they also push this narrative of them being the original Bitcoin and the Bitcoin Satoshi originally promised, the peer-to-peer electronic cash. And recently there was another hard fork, another split, and we received Bitcoin Gold, which changes the mining protocol into equihash, which allows GPU mining, which allows ASIC resistance and replay protection. And that's not it. In November, we might have 4 Bitcoins. Segwit 2x might kick in and we might have 4 Bitcoins in total, and that'd be very confusing, especially for the newcomers into space, because they might have different ideas of what Bitcoin really is. Is it a safe and quick payment system, or is it a hold of value? And also, is it like gold, since oh, I've heard in the news people talking about it being digital gold, and also now we have Bitcoin Golds, so that might trick people into buying Bitcoin Gold instead of BTC. So anyway, it just creates a lot of confusion in the market. The most fundamental problem of the Bitcoin is in its protocol, in its consensus protocol proof of work. Firstly, it uses too much electricity. In fact, it uses far more than actually necessary to support the transactions. The more miners you have, the safer the network gets from attacks. However, it doesn't change the efficacy of transactions. Regardless of your humanitarian views, it just might be wasteful. Secondly, and most importantly, the control of a Bitcoin can be captured by the dynasty. As explained in the great book Beyond the Bitcoin Trap by Kevin Lawton. Basically, it means that the control over the network gradually concentrates in fewer and fewer hands. Bitcoin is subjected to several dynastic captures. There's geographic, hardware, and political. There's another consensus protocol called proof of stake, for which Ethereum is headed. It is also subjected to dynastic capture, but at least it uses far less electricity. The most mining operations are in China due to cheaper electricity. One political decision can hurt Bitcoin tremendously. People with lower investment are severely disadvantaged in this protocol. And it becomes less and less feasible for them to even participate in the mining procedures. And people who have large capitals can continue the arms race. Also, within the mining hardware market, the ASIC market, there is now a monopoly called the Bitmain, which comes from China. In order for us to create a true cryptocurrency, there might need to be a completely new consensus created, or proof of stake should be used with certain degree of centralization and randomization. In conclusion, the name of the game is blockchain, not Bitcoin. The cryptocurrency is just the most basic use case of the blockchain tech, or some other distributed ledger. For instance, the Tangle that is being used in IOTA. Okay, what do you think is the future of money? What do you think is the 3.0 of cryptocurrencies? Leave your comments down below. Leave a like, that'd be very, very useful. Subscribe to my channel and keep on thriving.